Recorded live right here in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's time again for Larry's Rants, Raves, and Reviews. Now here's Larry.
Okay, folks, it's good to be back with you today, and we've got our very special friend, Randy Sams. He did such a good job, a few episodes ago about your election. Randy, we wanted to have you to come back, and so welcome back into the studio. And we've got a pretty hot topic to talk about, and we're going to kind of just turn you loose. But, folks, the topic today is entitled Dark Money. Dark money. We needed some kind of weird music or something.
Thinking that we could add some reverb or something to it. I wasn't ready on the effects.
Well, we're having a little bit of fun with this, but it's everything but funny. Correct, Randy?
That's true. And again, I want to thank both of y'all for inviting me back. Obviously, I didn't mess up too badly.
Yeah.
From the first two episodes.
We edited a lot out.
I was going to say.
And that's what Larry told me. Yeah, Larry said, well, a lot of your comments went on the floor, Randy, so that's okay. But thanks for having me back.
Well, tell us what you want to talk about today on Dark Money.
Well, I want the people to understand that what's going on. We can look at Washington, D.C., and we all know that there's big money being spent in Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah.
Special interests, PACs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just look at, you could take a few examples of why someone goes into Washington, D.C. and they're minus $12,500 in debt when they take over that seat. And it's paying $175,000 a year.
Yeah.
And in 4 or 5 years, they're worth $5 million, $6 million, $8 million.
We have a phrase around here that says "follow the money."
Follow the money. Okay,
It'll tell you a lot of stuff.
Or,
and I
it's
think
like AOC. What is she worth now? About $30 million after a couple of terms.
Yeah.
So I don't mind naming names, Randy. So feel free.
Well, and then I'm going to ask Nancy Pelosi for her investment strategies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's she like 500 and some odd %?
Yeah.
As far as her increase goes,
so.
or when her investments go?
I believe
so.
we covered that on like our second, third, or fourth podcast, and I put out a word here that said any financial advisor that can get me those kind of returns, please, here's my email, contact me, because Randy and I would like to become your clients.
All right.
Well, but we know why they
Haven't heard
are
a
so
word.
successful, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Well, I'm not accusing anybody here in Arkansas of any insider trading, so I'll set that straight.
Well,
okay?
leave that to me. I'll do something like that.
But
We're not running for office. So.
like Randy said, follow the money. So what I try to do is when I'm talking to folks is there's a difference. So I have an opponent.
Okay.
So what's the upcoming election is the primary election.
Yeah.
The early voting starts February 17th.
Mm-hmm.
And then the actual election day is March 3rd.
Yes.
And we are recording this on February 1st.
Right.
So we have about 2 weeks before early voting starts.
Mm-hmm.
And we're 30 days, pretty much exactly 30 days away from the election day, March 3rd.
Right.
And so I want people to understand that there's a difference between myself and my opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm talking to people, we went over this when we first recorded last time. People ask me, well, Randy, why are you running for office? Okay. And number one is to serve. And again, I know, okay, that's a cliche. Everybody's going to say that, right?
Right.
But I'm really passionate about the fact that my objective is to be the common sense Christian conservative voice for District 16.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The seat belongs to the people, not an individual. Nor does it belong to special interest.
Yes.
And we're seeing a lot of involvement in special interest in the election for the primaries coming up here starting here in a couple of weeks, okay? I believe that my objective is to give the people and the businesses the representation that they deserve and they should expect from their senator.
Right.
So that's me, all right? So now what we've got is everybody's doing this and everybody's going, well, so, I'm out knocking doors. I'm putting up campaign signs now. The last couple of weeks, because of the snowmageddon that we had, I've got an ice pick and a drill to put my campaign signs in the ground.
Sure.
Oh,
All right?
yeah.
Everything's frozen. But I still get text message, people finding out, and they want me to come by and talk to them, give them my information, and put a sign in the ground. So we do that. But why should they vote for me? I just gave you the reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I really strongly believe. When I talk to people, number one, Christian, number two, conservative, number three, Republican. People over party.
Yeah.
But now we've got the situation coming out to where other people want to get involved in the election process.
Well, Randy, not to interrupt you, but I guess I just did. The bottom line is some people hide behind the flag while others proudly wave it.
True.
And I believe that you're one that proudly waves it.
Yes, sir.
And I believe you're a good Christian man, man of integrity, and you truly do mean what you say. I want to run for this office to give it back to the people.
Yes, sir. And I don't plan on being a career politician. All right.
Thank God.
Now, because as we pointed out last time, I'm in the insurance business. I've been in insurance for 40 years. So I do retirement planning.
Right.
That's my career.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about term limits.
Yes.
Okay. I was mistaken because they changed the rules and laws in 2020. So we get term limited out. A senator or a House rep gets term limited out after 12 consecutive years.
Okay.
You have to sit out for 4 years if you want to run again.
Okay.
And then it's another 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's where we're at. So when I get elected, what are you looking at? 4-year terms? That'd be 3 terms max, and then you're going for 12.
I would love 4-year terms and have two terms
Exactly.
limit.
Well,
I mean,
that's
I really
something
would.
Something that needs to be addressed.
If it's good for the president, why not have it for everybody?
Exactly. Well, it's not just the president. It's for the governor, secretary of state,
Yeah.
treasurer,
Sure.
Right.
whoever.
Yeah.
They get 2 terms, right?
2
That's
terms, and I
8
want them.
years.
I'd like to have them 4 term or 4 years.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I want.
The big issue that we have in Little Rock, it's probably not on the scale as we see it in Washington, D.C., but it's like you said, Randy, follow the money. Special interest has reared its ugly head. Surprise?
Yeah.
No, it's not a surprise. We should expect it. But what's happened is that, and I'm going to use the focus on the 3,000 bed prison that they're wanting to build in Franklin County.
Okay. All
That
right.
got voted down for funding 5 times
5 times.
in the general election general session in 2025.
Yes.
All right. Stubblefield from Senate District 26 was a staunch, firm no against it or the funding. He passed away at a special election. You have a runoff right now between 2 Republican candidates. One of the candidates is supported and endorsed by the widow and the daughter. But now we've got special interest dark money coming in. And I call it dark money because it's out of state.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
It's coming in from 2 different, I call them PACs. One of them is called, I think it's Freedom Foundation, and the other is called New Generations. And if you look at that, if you look them up, you're going to see they're not registered here in the state of Arkansas. All right. But they are spending, if I say millions of dollars, because they have chosen in the Senate races alone, just look at the Senate races. There's 4 Senate races that they are targeting with the dark money. And that is Senate District 26. They're targeting Wade Dunn, who is a candidate in the runoff.
Right.
District 28, which is Brian King. He is a sitting senator, he was a firm no during the 2025 general session. And then you've got District 10, who is Ron Caldwell, and he's also a sitting senator, and he's a no. He's also going to run, I believe, for the Senate pro temp, which would be the leader of the Senate.
Okay.
And then you've got little District 16, which would be my district, that they have chosen to participate. Okay. Now, 3 of those districts, they've gone really negative, said some really bad stuff about some of the candidates. They're not the candidates that they're supporting, but the candidates that they're against. So Wade Dunn, Brian King, Ron Caldwell are all getting mailers sent out in their districts basically stating that they support China. Okay, they support this. In other words, it's bearing false witness. All right.
Yeah.
It's being pointed out now in my district. They have not done any attack mailers as far as against me, but they are doing a great job of supporting my opponent. So we're getting text messages, we're getting mailers in support of my opponent. Now those mailers are not cheap. They are
Absolutely, they're
6
not.
by 11.
Yeah.
People are telling me they're getting 2 to 3 of these a week.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not coming from his campaign now, because if I send out a mailer and I send it to you, to your house, it has to say paid for by elect Randy Sams for state senate.
Right.
Okay. Randy Sams campaign. And there's clearly states that it's coming from, the majority that my opponent has received is coming from New Generations. And you can do your homework. You can try to find out where they're from.
I actually read up on them a little bit. And let me just stop for just 1 second, because a lot of our listeners may not know, they hear the phrase PAC money. And PAC stands for Political Action Committee.
Yes, sir.
Okay, which is I think if I'm not mistaken, it's a nonprofit kind of organization that they set up, if you will, and that way they can funnel money to the candidate of their choice, and that money can go there, and there's like a $5,000 a year, I think, level that somebody can contribute into that, if I'm not mistaken.
That is true.
Is that right?
Unless it's a super PAC, and then basically a super PAC can do what they want to because they're not controlled by the same.
Okay.
But a PAC here in the state of Arkansas
Okay.
is you can max out at 5,000.
And these PACs are made up by businesses, by labor, by special interest groups of some kind. And so whatever your special interest is, you put this PAC together, raise a bunch of money, and then go find whatever officials that you feel like, hey, if we donate enough, they're going to look our direction if they get elected.
That's it. Well, I mean, Randy, you're Builders Association.
Right.
Okay. I'm not using them, but that's an example.
Right.
You
Yeah.
could use pharmacy. You could use the attorneys.
Yeah.
Anything that has an association can be looked upon as a PAC. And they have someone that is basically in charge of that. And they're talking to the candidates.
Yeah.
And they're making contributions to their campaign.
Okay.
Because as we spoke about before, and people should be able to imagine, it takes money to run a political campaign.
Sure it does.
Business cards, flyers, mailers, postcards, okay, billboards, yard signs. So it takes money to do that. And if you look at, and people can go to the Secretary of State's website and they can look up the financial records, and they can compare my financial contributions to my opponent, and you should be able to quickly point out and see who's getting the PAC money and who's getting the money from the average citizen.
Okay, now all this money comes into this PAC. We're calling it dark money, PAC money, whichever one somebody would prefer. But all of this money comes in here, and it is given to the people,
To the candidate.
to the candidate to get the vote or to get them elected. Is it? Let me ask you this, if it's a fair question: who directs which candidate gets that money? I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Whoever's in charge of the PAC. The two PACs that we mentioned, the Freedom Foundation and the New Generation, it's alleged that they are, Sarah, the governors.
Okay. All right.
That's what is alleged. I haven't done any background. I'm not an investigator, whatever, but that's what's alleged. Okay?
That's what I've heard.
And they've chosen to support.
Okay.
I mean, you got to look at.
And I'm not bashing her.
No, I'm not either.
I'm just I'm trying to just drill down to figure out what's going on.
Well, you have to look at it and go, okay, why are they looking at these Senate races?
Mm-hmm.
What's so important about these Senate races?
Yeah.
And again, that's why I opened up when I said, if you look at the Franklin County Prison Project, the proposed 3,000 bed prison, 2 years ago or 3 years ago in 2023, it was at $450 million, Randy. 2025 general session, it was up to $850, $875.
Yeah.
Wow. They've spent $1 million and they've moved one culvert.
And I will tell you, you sent me a link to a YouTube video that was like an hour and 15 minutes, and I was listening to it going down the road. I couldn't watch it, but I could listen. In fact, the person that's on there is going to be a guest in the near future, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Yes.
Is the prison fiasco. But somehow I clicked on that link, and it got me to the page, and then I got to I got to one that's like 2.5 or 3 hours. And I mean, my mind is just mush. I got halfway through it because they did their, I think it's called pit and gravel or something like that. They did their
Gravel
thing.
and grit.
Okay.
Gravel and grit.
I was kind of close, wasn't I?
Yeah.
And so they did their thing. Wonderful presentation.
Yes, it was.
And then they brought on, I believe he was the director of the
Corrections, the Board of Corrections.
and some lady, and I'm telling you, they were just blowing it. I'm like, oh my God, you're following a really good presentation, and you guys are just fumbling the ball. And I only got through half of them. I haven't finished it, but by golly, that uncovered a lot of stuff that was unreal.
And if people could see that, they would understand what the big issue is. Okay. Yeah. I don't believe if you talk to anybody, any sitting senator, myself, anybody that's a candidate that's running, as far as for the people, that is against prison space. Okay. Like I said before, I'm in prison ministry, have been in prison ministry for 25 years. Do we need additional prison space? Yes, sir. Okay. But there are spaces, there are existing prisons in the state of Arkansas that we could use and expand in those facilities.
That's what I've been scratching my head thinking, well, don't we have enough prisons around that we could just build on another wing? Yeah. You know, so many
500 here, 500 there, whatever.
Yeah.
And it would still accomplish the same thing. But you've got to look at, if you remember the presentation they made, they had like X's and checks.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And there were more X's than there were checks.
Oh, our government, our state government has flunked like it's unbelievable.
But we spoke about it in one of the earlier episodes, is that it just doesn't make logistical sense. There's not enough people to have employed in that area.
Yeah.
The roads are not viable for them to move that heavy equipment back and forth.
No.
They're 45 minutes away from a hospital. They're 25 minutes away from the interstate. They don't have any water.
Fire department was too far out.
Exactly. I mean, I think the fire department it's like a volunteer fire department that has 2 members.
Yes.
So,
and
if a 3,000 bed prison gets on fire, Randy, who's going to put it out?
And the volunteer firemen have said, we don't want that.
Exactly.
We don't want it here because we can't do it.
Yeah, you can't service it. So that's the catalyst of all of this. Okay.
Right.
So then you have to, so when you pull that curtain back or you peel that onion layer back, and then you find out, okay, why are they targeting these 4 districts?
Yeah.
Wade Dunn has already said he is a firm no against the prison.
Yes.
He's going to follow suit.
Yes.
Follow just like in the footsteps of Gary Stubblefield, Senator Stubblefield.
And I
did
did invite him on as a guest for the podcast, and I have not heard back from him. However, his opponent that's running on an independent ticket,
Adam Watson.
Yes, Adam Watson. He's going to record with us in just a few weeks. And so we're going to really get into the dirt of that. Yeah. But go ahead. Name off
that's in their backyard, so they,
yeah.
they're into it. I've been involved in it because I know a lot of people, have met a lot of people in Franklin County. But that's the catalyst. Okay,
yeah.
So they focused on those 2. They focused on Brian King, who again is very vocal against it. I mean, he's made several presentations. Why it doesn't make any sense. Again, follow the money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Ron Caldwell is the same. And then you've got my district.
Yeah.
So why are they focusing on my district? Well, my district right now has a sitting senator, and he is a yes for the funding of the prison. He has voted yes.
Okay.
Okay. I am a hard no. My opponent will follow suit with the current senator. He will be a yes. He's already come out and said that he is for the prison space. Now, he's a sheriff, okay? So you would probably expect him to be able to say that, but he's going to be a yes man for that vote. For the funding of that prison. They know that I am a no. I've made that public. I'm saying it again here. I've made videos about it. All right?
Right.
That I am opposed to that prison being built in Franklin County. It just does not make logistical sense. It doesn't make financial sense. It just doesn't.
Right.
All right?
And folks, if you would go to YouTube and watch that video that I saw, you would understand exactly what's going on and why.
I think it's up on, is it not on the Gravel and Grit website? I think that's
I don't know.
Because what they did is what I sent to you is Gravel and Grit took that little segment of their presentation because that was a special session that was called where the senators and the House members were together. It was specially called to hear about the arguments against and for. So what you watched, you've got the whole 2.5 hour deal.
Yeah.
What I sent to you originally from mine was just what Gravel and Grit or Adam Watson and the other young lady presented to the committee.
Right.
Okay. And like I said, when you listen to how well they put their arguments together, and you've got 10 or 12 things listed, and you've got 2 checks, and the rest of them are all X's, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, after their presentation, obviously that committee was sitting there looking, like deer in headlights. They couldn't believe what everything that they was hearing was, and I'm like, shouldn't you guys have kind of uncovered this yourself? If
transparency is what it comes back to, Larry.
Yeah.
It's they're not being transparent with the people. They're not giving us the full story behind it. Why?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that you've got.
But the bottom line for you is that the PAC money is moving in. It is affecting your district because in order to get this thing passed, they need to get enough yes people or yes votes to support it. And you're a definite no, and I'm sure they know that.
They're aware of it, but and if you're 35 senator seats, right? Senate seats, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I've tell people this all the time. I will represent District 16, and I will vote accordingly for District 16. But you have to realize that one district is one of 35 Senate seats.
Yeah.
And that one Senate seat has a vote.
Yeah.
And that one vote can affect the entire state of Arkansas.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's whether or not a bill gets passed out of committee, whether it gets approved or whether it gets defeated and out of committee.
Right.
Okay. Whether or not you want to see the funding again fail, or is it going to pass because they've got their yes people in there? Because just think, right now, just those 4 Senate seats are all no's.
Yes.
If you flip all those to yeses, what does that do for the actual overall vote? Does that allow it to pass? Because it does not have to have 100% approval from the Senate. So that's where you're looking at right now. Because I think there were actually 21 that were yeses.
Yeah.
So that leaves 14 that were no's.
Yeah.
Okay. 7 of those are Democrats.
And folks, it's not like we're in Arkansas trying to build a Buc-ee's. You're getting a Buc-ee's out in your district, okay?
That's right.
It's not like we're trying to put a Buc-ee's on the side of an interstate in all of that metro area that you're out there in, and people running up and down the interstate can stop there and spend hundreds of dollars, I won't even take my grandson in there because it costs way too much. Okay,
you're never going to go in there and come out less than $100.
No, God, no.
It's kind of like Costco.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's right, Randy. So it's not like that, and I don't think, like you said, anybody in their right mind is not against more jail space, more bed space. What we're against is that this thing does not make sense, and so. Now we see our own government pushing to do this. And also we'll remind people, if you didn't hear the first podcast that we did on this, was the fact that a young man bought this land for $1.5 million and in 2 years turned around and sold it to the state for $3 million.
Yes, sir.
And it had, Randy, you're in building, it had zero
improvements.
Improvements of any kind. It was just here on the dotted line, you get it as is. Okay? It's like buying a used car as is. They didn't do any soil sampling. They didn't do water testing. They didn't do road testing. The equipment that it will take to build that thing can't even run on the road that is there. They're going to have to build it completely off. And they've broken so many rules, as you have said, alluded to. So now they're trying to push to get people in office that's going to be yes men to go ahead and support this thing. And I say, Arkansas, you need to cut your losses. You've spent $3 million just on land. Cut your losses and $1 million move off.
to move a culvert.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To move a culvert. So, you're exactly right. So when you look at the dark money, that doesn't cost my opponent a dime. In other words, they're not making a contribution to his campaign. And
Right.
he's turning around and sending those mailers out.
Mm-hmm.
Those mailers are being paid for and created. All the artwork, all the wording, the terminology, those are being sent out by the Dark Money PAC.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not costing him a dime.
No.
Right.
So if he's sending out, and I don't know how many he's sending out, but if he's sending out 10,000 of them 2 times a week, that's 20,000. And if it's costing $10, if we want to go low, if they're costing $10 a piece, how much is that a week they're sending out?
Oh,
they're
yeah.
spending. It's not just in my district. There's 4 other districts. There are a couple of House races that they're focusing on. Okay.
Wow.
So money is obviously no object when it comes to spending. So you got to ask yourself, why are they willing to spend millions of dollars on focusing on 4 Senate races?
Mm-hmm.
There's your answer.
Yeah.
It's called the Franklin County 3,000 bed prison.
And if you go back to that, your answer, you have to ask yourself, whose pocket is getting padded by wanting that prison there so bad?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up
Okay.
because now we go to in-state PACs.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Your
right.
timing was perfect
Well, okay.
because an in-state PAC, they can only donate to a certain, they have to file financial statements,
Okay.
how much money they've taken in, who's given them that money, and how much money they've sent out and who received that money. Okay. Just a little overview, a little window of my opponent of some of the PAC money that he's received.
Okay.
Arkansas wins $3,500.
Okay.
Base Point, $1,000. Pillar, $3,500. Jobs and Growth, $3,500. Team SHS, $3,500. Now that's $15,000, and I just gave you 5 PACs. If you go to his contribution, his reports that he has to file, you'll see that he's received probably $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in PAC money. Okay, that's more money than I've raised as a total.
Sure.
My money coming from folks like you guys,
Right.
like us. All right, no PAC money. So now you're going to ask, well, who is Arkansas Wins? That's Bart Hester. He's the Senate pro temp. He is a senator.
Wow.
Base Point, Senator Ben Gilmore. Pillar, Senator Breanne Davis. Jobs and Growth, AG Tim Griffin. Team SHS, do I need to say who that PAC is from?
Well, feel free.
The governor.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So are all of those politically motivated?
Wow.
Of course they are. Okay. So that's why you see. Now, we have to go a little bit deeper. You've got the PACs that represent construction, represent big machinery,
Right.
represent communications, which is all tied together in building a prison.
Sure it is.
And we're
yeah.
going from $450 million to $850 million to $1.5 billion to $2 billion. Those are large contracts, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm getting my commercial license.
There you
Maybe I need to.
Mr.
Now
Wright's going to start his own PAC
Now
here
he's
pretty
wanting
soon.
to cut
Okay.
Now he's
I'm
wanting to
hearing
cut
all
of
this
it.
money.
Yeah, he'll have his own PAC.
I might get in it.
But that's where if
It's
you
out of my district.
if you peel the layers of that onion back, okay, and you pull the curtain back, you've got to go a little bit deeper than just saying that. Okay, well, he's getting this support. He's getting why are they wanting these 4 Senate races? Because they know if they can get those 4 Senate races to be their people, they're going to get 4 yeses to vote for the funding. And there's billions of dollars that are involved in building that prison. And those contracts are going to be awarded to people that some of these PACs that I just mentioned
Why, sure.
represent.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Follow the money. It's
Sure
there.
it does.
It's there.
It really does.
Okay. That's where you have to stand up. And I want the people to understand the difference between myself and my opponent.
Yeah.
Okay. My opponent will be a special interest. Yes, ma'am. I will be standing for the people. They know where I stand on the funding. We've got issues with the Board of Corrections that are going on right now. The Board of Corrections, that are the 3 that just got nominated by the governor, brand spanking new. They had a meeting, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and the 3 that she just appointed, one got elected chair, vice chair, and secretary. Straight in from being a newbie, not knowing anything about it, to being what? Boom. Now I'm the chair. Guess what they get to vote on? So she's getting her people in there. And again, please, if I sound like I'm slamming the governor, I'm not. Okay. Again, like I said before, there's some good things that have happened and occurred here, but you have to see who's pulling. It's kind of like the Wizard of Oz. Who's the man behind the curtain?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think when you pull the curtain back on this one, it's not going to be a man.
Yeah.
Okay. And you got to ask why. That's all people want to know. You got to be transparent. Why is all of this occurring? Why is all this money, millions of dollars, being spent across the state of Arkansas, and they're focusing on these 4 Senate races and some other House races? Okay. So that's what I look at.
Well, everybody comes to the table with an agenda. Oftentimes it's a hidden agenda, and you don't know why, and you've got to figure it out. And so while we're not sitting here bashing our governor, because in many ways we like a lot of the things that she has done, I could bring people on here that hate her. I could bring people on here that love her, you know, and there's probably some in between. But not everything. That does not mean that we're going to sit here on this podcast and just be a yes man. I got to tell you, I've never been accused of being a yes man.
True.
I will tell you exactly how I feel. And oftentimes, if somebody asks me my opinion, I'll look at them and go, I'm going to give you an opportunity to pull that question back because I don't think you're going to like my answer. So if you want to retract that, if you want to take it back, feel free, and I'll walk away.
You're giving them the opportunity to be wrong.
There you go.
Yeah, of course. It's a no-win.
I am giving them the opportunity. He learned that off the last episode. I'm giving them the opportunity so that I don't have to tell them how wrong they really are.
True. I see. I understand.
I'm trying to be nice about it.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, 2026 is my year of being nice. This is nice.
You get that in writing. Right? You want to get that in writing. So I mean, that's what you said is correct. Is I just want the people to understand why it's important to them to do the research.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't go and vote. Now, this is a primary, so it's going to be the Republican primary. So both of us are going to have an R. We'll be on the Republican ballot.
Right.
Okay. So you're not voting for a Republican and against a Democrat, or for a Democrat against a Republican. But you do have an opportunity to vote for someone who is going to be way more conservative.
Right.
And will be way more concerned about the people's voice than the other person,
Yeah.
okay, who will be more concerned about special interest
Yeah. Yeah.
and which direction somebody's agenda may want to be going down that road.
Exactly.
Okay.
And folks, let me wrap this episode up. We are coming back. Next episode, Randy will be on here with us. We wanted to divide this up in 2 parts. This first one is entitled Dark Money, and we have, I think, probably covered that fairly well. And the next episode is entitled, I believe, Election Lethargy. We're going to cover why your vote actually does count, because there's a lot of folks that don't. So we're going to talk to you about some really serious matters of why you need to get out and vote, even in these primaries, because I don't care if it's an R or a D or an I by somebody's name or an L. We've got to have the right people in these offices that's going to do something for we the people. Amen. Now, I've got to tell you, I argue with some folks because some people say, well, we the people means everybody. No, we the people, in my definition of we the people, is once we have had an election and once we have verified that it's actually a true and legal and legit election, then we the people are the ones who won that election, had our voice heard, and we came together and said, this is what we want. That's my definition of we the people, when you have the majority vote that came together. So here's what I would tell you. You've got to get out and vote in these primaries. You've got to find these good candidates like Randy here, and you've got to get out there and support him, work for him, work with him, and actually do something to turn our country, our state, our district, our cities around. Because, folks, we're going down the tubes in America really quick. And it's our responsibility to make the change. So I invite you, I beg you to come back for next episode, because we want to talk to you and give you some examples of why your vote really counts. So come back and see us next episode, and I hope you will have a wonderful day.